This is a live look at the heart of London as the city gets set to welcome the world. It looks stunning. Thousands of athletes from more than 200 countries are arriving here now to Olympic Park in East London. They have spent years training to be the very best in the world. Anthony Wilson competed in track and field in the 1992 Barcelona Games. Celine Loyer is a rising track star, hoping to compete in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. And David Case is their coach. All three are here with us this morning to give us some insight on what it takes to be an Olympian. Welcome to all of you.
Good morning.
Well, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
Let me begin with you, Anthony. When you see those shots of London, does it bring back memories? I mean, what goes through your mind when you think about what the athletes are experiencing at this moment?
Well, you know, excitement.
Yeah.
You know, excited, anticipation, and just, you know, happy to be there. You know, that's those are the sort of things that go through my mind right now. And obviously, I'm reminiscing, just thinking about it.
Of course. And do you feel, I'm wondering at a certain point, you just want to do it? Here, as we mentioned, you've been training for years. Do you want to get it over with? Show what you're made of.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, when I started thinking about the Olympics, I was like 14, 15 years old. Oh. And to see that dream, you know, actually, you know, come to fruition, absolutely, I wanted to get on the track. I wanted to, you know, represent my country and be proud.
David, as we mentioned, you coach both of these people. You've coached others as well. When you see a young athlete, can you see something in them almost immediately that says they're potential Olympic material?
A lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, I knew that this person back then was going to make the Olympics. And there's no guarantees. What I look for is it. And what it is, I don't know what that is. But I know what it is, but I don't. And it's a quality of, you can have all of the physical strength in the world, but if you don't have this, to be able to sit in a stand where there's maybe 60,000 people or 100,000 people, and it's the final of a race. This is years and years of culmination of training hard, sacrifice, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, etc. You should know that. All right. So
I'm not an Olympian.
Right. So you know you've got to figure there's 7 billion people on the planet. Less than 1% of the world's population will ever even get to the Olympic Games. Less than that will even get a medal. It's a select few people, and it takes a long time to get there. So, you know.
Celine, when David talks about that dedication and determination, you work out 5 hours every day.
Don't remind me.
5 hours! What keeps you motivated?
I love the sport. I mean, you know, 6 years ago, I've been training for 6 years now, out of 10 years. I mean, 6 years ago, I would have never known I was at this point. And, you know, there's many other fast people, quicker people than me, and much slower people than me. And it's not a guarantee that I will be making the Olympic Games. But there's many other track meets before that. I mean, I take, for example, a surprise bag for a kid. You open the surprise bag, you don't know what to expect. There's a lot of variables, and you just got to take it one step at a time, and I just love my sport.
And you love your sport.
I love my sport.
And I'm wondering about your conversations with Anthony. You must tap into his experiences. And what do you want to know from him? What can you learn from an athlete who's been there and done that and been so successful?
How do you keep your composure? I mean, it's your first time at the Olympic Games. I mean, what do you feel? It's...
Well, you know, training for the Olympics is such a huge undertaking, and there's so many hurdles that you have to overcome in terms of, you know, injuries, funding, and when you finally get there, you know, the crowd, just on an international stage where you have all these countries, and you know, it's a huge challenge, but at the same time, you know, you just have to be focused and you know, get your game face on, and go out there and do the best you can.
You have to have it up here.
Have it up there, I bet. And so you're going to be going to Rio. That's the hope.
That's the hope. But like I said, there's many other things that I want to accomplish before the Olympic Games. It's never a guarantee. But of course, with every athlete, it's one of their long-term goals.
And I think people need to know how you train and also work at the same time, because you are funding yourself.
That's right.
So how do you balance that?
You just gotta, it's part of the plan. I mean, you have to balance out your time management. Like I train in the morning and I'm a massage therapist, so I treat my clients in the afternoon. That's just, it's part of the deal. You just have to do it.
You have to do it.
And
And David, I want to ask you, because if I'm not mistaken, you'll be what, 27?
I'll be 27, yeah, I'm
27 by the time Rio comes around, and I don't like to talk about you when you're right here, but is that old to be heading off to the Olympics for the first time? Because we're so used to seeing so many really young teenagers competing in the Olympics.
The old adage, many years ago was, sprinters 25, 26 years old, that's your peak. But women now are going into their 30s. And to be honest with you, those are the ones between 27 and early 30s that are really at the top of their game physically. Same with men. So she would be, if she did make the Olympic Games, at the perfect age, because your central nervous system's intact. You've gone through the ebbs, the flows, the ups, the downs, et cetera, et cetera. So as Celine says, takes a lot of time, a lot of funding. We're very, very, very appreciative of the many individuals and businesses in Sudbury that have contributed to her career. We're very grateful. There's been a lot of individuals and businesses that have helped, and that's part of a large team. So along the way, you may get injured, and you've got to get back up on the horse. And
And I can't help but think at 27 you also have that maturity as well. Well, I thank you all for coming in. David Case, Anthony Wilson, Celine Lawyer, thank you. Good luck to you. We'll be following your career. We hope to be talking about you as we head into Rio. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Coming up next on Canada AM.